In this video, I'll show you how to make almost any page rank in the top 10. The reason I say almost is that
this video is brought to you by EpiPies Academy.
some pages are just in such a competitive niche. Some keywords are just impossible keywords, and those are just taken up by billion and billion dollar companies, so it's just impossible. But for most other niches, it is possible with some hard work. And if you'll ask me, well, how long should I wait? It really depends on the level of your competition in your niche and the level with which you implement these strategies. But trust that these are precisely the right strategies to do. So if you pick a page and you say, I want to rank this one is a really lucrative page for me, then here's what you do. First of all, don't sit back and wait. Actively start doing the work. Long term, keep on building links and boosting your overall domain authority with link building. With higher domain authority, all of your pages will rank, not just that page. That's long term, but there are many things you can do on day one. For example, you can interlink your website's pages and create tables of content links on your pages. Those are links on the page that link to themselves. It's a totally white hat strategy. And if that sounds confusing, I actually explain exactly how to do that in a different part of the course. And I'll show you at the end of this video, I'll actually show you what that looks like, so there will be no confusion. But those are all things that you have 100% control of because it's on your site. Also, you can build additional new content, and in that new content, you can have links to that page that you want to rank. That's also something you can do on day one. And of course, a lot of social media activity. You can do that on day one, but ideally grow your social media following and get more traffic from it long term so that you can get more and more and more activity from it. Now, there's also a lot of things you can do to make sure that Google sees your page as good in their eyes. And I go over a lot of this in the section of the course that covers on-page SEO, so I don't want to bore you. But just a quick recap, a good page in Google is, if it's a content page, it's about 500 to 1,000 words. Obviously good writing, good grammar, and I shouldn't have to say that, but when I visit client sites, often there is a lack of paying attention to good grammar and good writing. So it's really important, and consistency in writing. So it's really important, and it's something to focus on. And of course, you can increase your keyword density. And again, the keyword density topic, I devote a specific lecture to that topic elsewhere. So I don't want to bore you with that either too much. I just want to remind you to do that. But let's say you have a keyword density of like 3% for a keyword. Try to boost it up to 4% and give it a couple of weeks. See if that helps, right? So you can actually boost your keyword density a little bit. Don't make it crazy. Don't go from 3% to like 12%. Just a tiny bit, tiny boosts, and see if that helps. And monitor the ranking of your page over time. Note it in Excel so that you know, oh, like last month I ranked lower. You can also do this in the Google Webmaster Tools, but sometimes just keeping your own record also helps. And then make sure you have subsections of the page and use H2 tags with long tail keywords, and do all the other proper on-page SEO. And of course, embed rich content. This can be video, PDFs, audio, images, etc., etc. Rich content, a lot of rich content really helps. And improve the title and description meta tags, because those actually impact your search engine result page click-through. So if your title is attractive, people who are searching will click on your listing more likely than others. And that actually will get you more views, more activity, and ultimately contribute to ranking higher. And make sure your site loads fast and is easy to navigate. Now, it's a little tricky because fast loading sites typically don't have a lot of high resolution images or videos embedded or other complexities, because those things actually slow down the page loading. So you want to balance that with having enough rich content, but actually monitor that the site doesn't load too slowly. And again, I cover all this in other parts of the course, so don't worry about it. But those are just things to keep in mind. Now that we've gone over this, let's look at a page that is a relatively good example of doing this. And here we only talked about content pages. So you might ask, well, I have a product page. What to do in that case? Very many similar things. Just don't go over the top with too many words of content and too many videos or PDFs, because it might not be relevant or necessary. But as much as possible, still, you don't have to write 1,000 words of content, but you should still have a keyword rich product description. Pay attention to your title and description meta tags. pay attention to your site speed loading, have a lot of beautiful photos. So a lot of these things still apply quite strongly. So now let's look at an example of a content page that does all this. Here you see I'm not logged in and I search for flyer marketing, and it so happens that these two are ads. The first two results are ads, but actually the third result is actually my blog. This is my blog post. So let's go there and let's take a look. If you recall earlier in the video, I mentioned having like a table of contents. This is the table of contents. These are links that link to separate parts of the page. For example, if I click on cost of flyers, look at what happens to the URL. Right now, the URL is that, you see? But if I click that, it stays on the same page, but only, you see, it adds a little bit to the URL, like a little extension. So that's kind of a link to the page itself. It's a part of inner linking your site, and it contributes to your ranking. Notice I have videos embedded here. Notice I have like H2 tags with different topics. So all the things that I discussed in this video are actually done here, and all those things did a little bit to contribute to the ranking of this page. So now you know the strategies, you've seen the example, and you're ready to do it for your pages.